Welcome to the Private Practice with Soul podcast. My name is Dr. Brooklyn Storme, and I help private practice owners align their business back with their soul's calling, with their big vision and with their soul's purpose. Unlike other private practice coaches, I've traveled the world in search of spiritual resources, spiritual tools, education and information so that you can have the transformation that your soul desires and needs so that you can up-level your business. How much fun is this? I love it so much. Guys, if you're not already a member of the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship Group, please check out the show notes. I would love for you to be there. In the meantime, thank you so much for pushing play today. Let's begin. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brooklyn Storme, and I am super pleased that you're here today. And I also want to welcome the new listeners that have subscribed this week. Thank you so much for listening, and please do go back through previous episodes and feel free to listen to those. And if you have any feedback, of course, let me know. Today, we are going to talk about sacred social. I know, right? We're going to be talking about posting on your social media, because this is something that comes up a lot in coaching. And, I only work with women now. And for a lot of women, we've been speaking about recently, haven't we, this idea of feminine energy and wounded feminine. And feminine energy really wants to be seen, she wants to be heard, and she wants to be acknowledged. But if we're operating in a place of wounded feminine, then she's really scared about being seen. She has a very, very deep desire to, be accepted and to be understood and to be listened to. But at the same time, she's very, very afraid. What if I say the wrong thing? What if people don't like me? What if I get judged? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't have anything of value to contribute to the conversation? And things like that can come up, right? So that's kind of how the feminine energy works when it comes to posting on your social media. If we're thinking about the masculine energy, what happens there is you're scheduling all of your posts. You're using maybe a scheduling tool like Hootsuite or Buffer or SmarterQueue or something like that. You curate all of your content, you map it out, you strategize, and then you just go bang, 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 and you get it all out, right? And the other thing maybe you do is you buy all of the social content calendars that are being advertised on Facebook and Instagram, right? You always think that you've got to have, the next 365 days of social media content sort of mapped out for you, so you know where you're going and what you're doing. You buy that stuff, right? You buy those tools. That's been in the masculine energy. And so there are some disadvantages with both types of these. And so what I thought might be really helpful for you today is how you can create social posts or social content that's going to land for your audience in a way that feels sacred to you and to them, right? In a way that it's going to land for them, they're going to hear it, all of that sort of stuff. When you're operating in wounded feminine, what's happening is you're kind of being very hesitant about what you're posting. Perhaps you're overthinking it. You're not posting regularly enough, maybe, or you're holding back with your message because of this fear of judgment. You're not going all in. You're not standing for anything. You're kind of standing for something. And this happens a lot, especially when I'm working with clients around, what do you stand for? What's your voice? What's your point of view? What's your niche even? So many times I work with social workers and coaches and psychologists and counselors, and I'll say, who do you help? And they'll say, well, I help people who are children, adolescents, adults, the aged. I help with anxiety, depression, confidence, self-esteem, trauma, right? All of this sort of stuff. So it's like, not really helping anybody, not really helping with any particular issue. You just kind of, saying that you're doing everything, and maybe you are, but perhaps you're not doing anything particularly well. Or if you are doing something particularly well and you do have a passion for it, there's fear in there that's telling you, oh, don't tell anybody about it. And a lot of the time that fear can manifest like, well, if I say that, my area of interest is EMDR for trauma, then I'm not going to get as many referrals. My appointments will dry up. I'll lose clients. It'll cost me money. It'll damage the practice if I have an area of specialization. So that's kind of how wounded feminine shows up. And so what happens as a result of that is you hold back on having a point of view and you just post willy-nilly about everything. And it doesn't land for anybody because it's so general that you could pick up that content off your Instagram feed or off your social or LinkedIn and you could put it onto anybody else's and it would mean just as much. It's so general, it doesn't have your flavor in it. So it's not, people aren't identifying it with you. When you're in your masculine, you're scheduling everything, you're making sure you're getting 7 stories out a day and, at least 4 live videos out a week and doing all of that. Well, then it becomes a chore. And again, because you're pushing, the energy behind it is that of pushing. You're in that drive. It's all about the action. It's more about getting it done so you can tick it off than it is about serving the people that need you, that want to hear your message. Okay, and so that's why you're not getting traction on your social. Now when that happens, as I said, you're not getting traction, but when we're operating in wounded feminine, we're not getting traction either. Okay, so you need to, as always, try and find that balance. So one of the common beliefs that we have as women in private practice who are owning the business or directing the business is that in order for us to be successful and have our message land, that we need to be posting regularly, almost every single day. And I understand why you might think that when everyone around you is talking about their own content calendars, their own scheduling systems that they're using and how they're planning. But if it were true that you needed to post on every platform every day in order to have the impact that you want to have for your audience, then everyone that's posting all the time on all the platforms will be seeing results. And we all know that that's just not true. But what does every successful woman in private practice that posts on social media effectively and impactfully have in common? Well, what they have in common is intention. Can you find me any woman in private practice that's been impactful with her message and she's doing it with energy and intention? Right? They all are. You can't not find somebody who's successful who isn't doing it because they don't exist. Okay? So how can you tap into energy and intention to help you with your posting, right? How can we help you step out of that masculine energy of thinking you need to be posting every single day and you need to be posting in very general ways as part of your feminine energy? How can we get you anchoring back into greater balance with the masculine and greater balance with the feminine? What would it look like if you were able to post from your feminine energy, right? The feminine is about nourishing, filling her cup so that she can, have more to give to others. The feminine energy is around receiving, right? Whether that's receiving feedbacks, receiving comments, receiving engagement, receiving inspiration, receiving downloads from source or from the universe about what her audience really needs to hear, receiving feedback from her audience about what's going on for them, receiving inspiration about what needs to be posted and how it needs to be posted. A feminine energy is around love, around compassion, kindness, nurturing, all of those sorts of beautiful feminine things. It's around dancing, music, artistry, all of those sorts of qualities. And how can you balance that with the masculine, right? The masculine is about, let's get this done. The masculine is about the machinations of, okay, let's write it. Let's put pen to paper now. Let's, post it. When would be the right time for me to post it for my audience? When are they mostly online? When are they mostly likely to hear it? What sort of insights do I need to be looking at on my Facebook page or in my Google Analytics to see when my audience is most active and most likely to hear the message that I want to be putting out there? So the masculine energy is really around logic, and of course planning, but it's doing it in a way now that's going to align and resonate for your audience, okay? And so the anchoring into a balance of that type of energy is going to help you connect with your audience in ways that are so meaningful for them, okay? Now, the other thing too is, I think as women in private practice, when we do post on social media, we can take it very, very personally when people don't comment, they don't engage, they don't like, heart, share, whatever it is, our posts. But here's the thing, it's not about you. When you start to take it personally, you're making it about you. We have to anchor into our clients and think about why your clients don't always engage. And I can absolutely speak from my own experience. I know a lot of you guys don't engage with what I put out. You won't engage publicly, yet you'll message me on private messenger and ask if I'm taking new coaching clients at the moment, or you'll send me a little email to say that you really enjoyed hearing about masculine and feminine energy on the podcast. Or you might post a little comment in a private group that I've got that's just for women in private practice. You're less likely, I know my audience is less likely to post comments publicly on what I'm doing, because I know that what I'm doing is being a thought leader. I'm stepping outside of the norm. I'm stepping outside of the box. I'm pushing the boundaries, and I'm happy to do that. But I know not all of you are ready to push boundaries yet. And that's okay, and I understand that. And the fact that there's not a great deal of traction doesn't mean it's not landing for my audience. That's just my audience. But depending on who your audience is, your engagement will be very, very different. If you're working with say parents, say your audience is mums of children that have behavioural issues, and you're posting content that's landing for those mums in a way that they need to hear it, and it's getting posted at the time of the day when they're most likely to be on social. So typically that's around school drop-off, school pick-up. So that's when you want to be scheduling your posts for. And you want to be anchoring into, what your mum as an audience member needs to be hearing at the moment. You are going to get lots of engagement because, mums are wanting to engage and they're wanting that support, and they're very supportive of each other most of the time. So that's what I mean. Different audiences are going to engage and react very, very differently, but just don't take it personally. This is about them. It's not about you. And you just be respectful of that, and you trust in the process, right? You lean into your faith. So I guess there are, as I see it, in my opinion, there are 4 steps that you can take to, creating what I call sacred social, that intentional social post that's got good energy behind it. And it's so important that when you craft your content, whether that's you're curating pictures or you're writing a long form post or a short form post, whatever it is, you want to do it from a space of the energy that aligns with the energy of your audience, or where you want to take your audience, okay? So don't just write your content because you've set aside Thursdays once a month to map out 30 posts and you've just got to get it all done. Don't do it like that, because it's not going to resonate with anybody. It's better to allow yourself space to be able to get grounded for yourself, anchor into your own beliefs, your own desires, as well as, where your clients are at the moment, and right from that space. And here's the thing, when we post on social media, other people are going to pick up your energy, right? They're going to pick up your energy behind that. Don't think that they won't. If it feels like your heart wasn't in it, they're going to get the experience that your heart wasn't in it, and they're going to scroll on by. But if they get the impression that your heart was in it, and that it met them in their space, well, guess what? They're going to follow you. They're going to engage with you. They're going to turn into paying clients at some point, because they're going to build that know, like, and trust factor with you. So step one is really around finding a way that you can anchor into your audience, know your audience. Step number two is to identify the message or the messages that you really want to share with them, that you think are going to resonate with them. Step number three is to write your post or write your content from a place of alignment. And the fourth step, of course, is always, wherever you can, pay it forward, okay? Like attracts like, and you want to put good karma out there into the world. And it's just a nice thing to do to support other women in private practice. So if you come across another woman's post, give it a heart, give it a thumb up, share it with a colleague or something like that. It's not going to hurt you. It's putting good vibes out into the world. It's showing the world that you're supportive. It's and going to give you a nice feeling because you supported somebody else's small business. Do you know what I mean? And this is how you start to create energy. And then guess what? Because that person has received a share from you or a heart from you or a like from you, guess what? They're going to be more likely now to engage with what you're posting and what you're doing. And that's a nice thing for them, because it's always nice to say thank you and to give back. And imagine the ripple effect that you can create when you put fear aside and you come from love and you start supporting each other with the beautiful work that you're all doing. Because here's the thing, none of you are competing for clients. You all have a unique client audience. By supporting other women in private practice, it's not meaning you're going to have a loss of work. In fact, it's just the opposite. You're going to cultivate a reputation for yourself as being a woman that supports others, that lifts others up, and draw more people to you. And guess what? Maybe they're going to be able to refer clients that are beyond their area of specialization or their area of interest. But because they've been following you and engaging with you, they understand it might be an area that you could help a client with. This is going to generate referrals for you. Okay, so they're the 4 steps to creating sacred social media in a way that's going to be energizing and uplifting for you as the practice owner and director, energizing and uplifting for your audience, and in a way that can support other women in private practice too. So maybe from today, commit to supporting another woman, commit to trying to tune into a balance of your feminine and masculine energy when it comes to crafting and posting on your social media, and then just monitor and review things and see how you go from there. And if you need a hand, reach out and let me know. I'll pop my email in the show notes. I'm always available to support you. I hope that you found this episode really helpful and inspiring, and I wish you all the best for a beautiful week. I will see you in the next episode on Saturday. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast today. If you're looking for clarity, if you need help with branding, your processes, and bringing everything into alignment with your soul's purpose for your private practice, head to the show notes and click the link for more information about the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship Group. You are going to love it. I can't wait to see you in there. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.